portions. On Monday is going to be all the multiple choice, one long answer problem. On Monday is going to be all the multiple choice and one long answer problem. On Tuesday, it's behind the board. On Tuesday, it'll be the rest of the long answer. I can't have the microphone out. Anyway, which isn't going to be that much. The bulk of the test is on Monday, so we're trying to do the majority of the test. Whatever I give you on Monday is one piece of paper front and back. You have to fully attend that by the end of class. Let's say that I'll let you start at 10. I'll let you, like, I'll be in my meeting and I'll come over here so at 10 so that you can come in, you can sit down, you can have an extra 10 minutes as a result. You might not need it, but if you don't come to have it, you won't get it at the tail end of the class. It's either you come eventually or you don't finish. But I'm splitting the test to try to make sure that we have it on time. So you should have time in class to fully attend, but some of you that take a little longer, you're afraid multiple choice will be tricky, which it will be. You might want to take advantage of it.
Well, first off,
Alright, okay, 191 to 193. Are there any questions? The solutions are up on the board. Not all of you were able to get to the rest of it yesterday. Can you just talk through really quick? Number 191, what were you supposed to do? Don't tell me the actual answer. What were you supposed to do? Look at the formula and find the derivative. Now, how did you find the derivative of x times f of x? What rule? College rule. What confused a lot of people, especially in period 6, was this was an f, this was a g. They didn't tell you who it was. So how did you take the derivative? Like a little baby formula. When you do second d first, you just rewrite the f of x. Whatever. He is what he is. He's the second, I write him. When I do first d second, I write f prime of x. When I take the derivative of g of u, I take g prime. Even though I'm not literally doing it, I'm showing it. I'm being legal. G prime of u times u prime. Then what did they say to plug in for everybody? 3. So we plug in 3's to everybody. Then, what were we supposed to go looking for? Values. We're just looking for values. So what's the point of this problem, deciphering this really complicated table? Yeah. The table was just what you needed at the very, very, very end after this. Okay. Number 192. Any questions on 191? 192. What was the key? What's the very first step that I would have told you to do? Yeah, rewrite. Don't get tricked by the trig notation. Rewrite. Anytime you have sine to a power, cosine to a power, tangent to a power, cosecant to a power, cotangent to a power, or secant to a power, I did all 6. Anytime you have a trig to a power, you rewrite. Because what's the outer? The power. The outer is the power. Chain rule, right? The outer is the power. Chain rule. So it's a u cubed or a block cubed or an f of u equals u cubed. How do you take the derivative? 3 block squared. 3 u squared. 3 g squared. Then we dealt with the cube. So who's next? What's the next derivative in our chain rule? Derivative of the cosine, which is negative sine of his block, which is 8 theta. Then we peel off both of those. What's the last u prime? Derivative 8 theta is 8. Simplify. Any questions on 192? Don't get tricked by the trig notation. Rewrite. 193. When it said slope of tangent, all I was supposed to do was think derivative at the value. So take the derivative first, then plug in. The derivative is a chain rule, u cubed. When it said equation of tangent line, is that a forever I need to know? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The y1 you plug into the original. The m you plug into the derivative. The y1 you plug into the original. The m you plug into the derivative. But guys, if it's a long answer, what did I tell you can do? Stick it to the man. Just stop. If it's a multiple choice, might you need to get y by itself and simplify? Yes, but if it's a long answer, stop. That's it. HTLs, what does that stand for? Horizontal tangent lines are when the slope is 0. So what do we set equal to 0? Who is this guy? The derivative. The derivative stands for the slopes. So set the derivative equal to 0, solve for any possible. This guy was a square root of a negative number. That's imaginary, the only possible one. The only real one was 0. And last but not least, why do second derivatives get messy? Yeah, when you take the first derivative, it doesn't usually look messier than the original. I mean, depending, but if it's like a chain rule. The first derivative was definitely more involved than the original. And the second derivative says take the first and go again. Go again. So be careful when you read a function and when you read something times, you need, what rule is this? Second d first plus first d second. You need the product rule. And if you have a u squared as a second, when you go to take the derivative of u squared, it's 2u times u. What are you going to really try not to do?
If you were to take the third derivative of that, it would probably be easier.
I would foil. Yeah, to be honest, I would foil. And technically, you guys could have gotten the second derivative by foiling first. But on this one, I don't think it was much easier because you would have had to square 2x squared plus 1 and distribute in the 12x and then take all the derivatives and then factor. On a multiple choice question, if all of the answers are in factored form, you probably don't want to FOIL first, because then you're going to get some nasty 4th or 5th degree polynomial that you're going to have to figure out how to factor. And then that's going to be a mess. Unless you go through all the answers and FOIL them all out and try to match them. I don't want that. Okay. No questions on one? Oh, the free response ones, yeah, there's fun. There's no interest. All right, girls. For those of you that did not get to start the test review last night, go ahead and write it down. This is their written. Well, no, this is 2.1. Sorry. There's the review. As you guys look at the review, did I give you any evens?
Probably not.
Yeah. Why? Because none of the evens were good? No, actually, I like some of the evens, but I want you to be able to check in the back of the book and on CalcAB. I want you to be able to check, because not all of you could have finished it for me, and I understand that. So I want you to be able to reference. Not working. Reference CalcAB. Okay. Does anybody know they have questions? Sean?
This
is exciting. I'm performing it. What else? 67. Huh?
It's a method in order.
Oh, I like it. Okay, just 67. All right, kiddos, if I were you, let's all look at 67. I'm going to pull it up in the book. Oh yeah, do you have another one?
No.
Let me pull up 67 while you're asking your question.
So obviously,
Charlotte, we'll come back to you.
the first things are asking for us to do it by limit process or the definition.
Right.
Do we actually need to do it that way if we know all the derivative rules?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to know how to do it by the definition, because probably on the test they're going to ask us, so we can
Yes.
the definition on what.
Exactly.
Way to crush my dream.
Section 2.1 was how to find a derivative with a limit process.
So like using that plus h, you probably have to do it. But you can check your whatever by using derivatives.
Okay, hold on. What happened to my screen and why is it so messed up?
You're so nervous. You got your lips just out. You know, he's like, He's really nice.
Okay. Guys, number 67 was just find the derivative. So let me go ahead and pull out the smart notebook. And let's go ahead and add a page. So, chapter 2 review. Chapter 2A review. If you guys want, if you're in the back of your spirals, if you haven't done this, you can do this one back there, then you can reference it when you get to the test review. This is number 67. You will recognize, is it an f of x or a y equals? 3x over square root of x squared. This looks a lot like number 27 of section 2.4a. Is it that one?
Yeah, the one that when we simplified it, it's got all really bad.
The one that you guys did in your workspaces as a group the day after the homework, or the day the homework was due, because everyone was having issues simplifying. Yeah, exactly. So guys, this is a great problem. It's a tricky problem. I'm going to go ahead and have you lead me. And when you start leading me wrong, I'll stop you. So go ahead and lead me.
Why is it rewrite?
Just
do like 3x.
X plus 1.
It would be 1/2. Do you want me to make it a product rule or keep it quotient?
Oh, it's easy.
Okay. Well, that it doesn't really matter, but
So -1.
it seems easier to do it that way. Sure.
Yeah, right? Okay, cool.
If you don't mind, yeah, that's okay.
Wait, can we skip that?
Yeah.
I made it product rule. I think you did it and it wasn't helpful.
So then the big rules product rule will look small notes change.
But it does work either way, and simplifying, about the same simplifying is necessary.
Are the instructions just
Find f prime.
Okay, so.
Yeah, just find the first derivative. So, just so are we doing this? Right? Give you the chance. It's the product rule.
First.
Okay, so let's slow down. Second, we rewrite, right? D first. 3. Does that make sense? Plus first 3x. Okay. How do I take the derivative of? Why am I writing a u? Chain rule. It's u to the -1/2. If it's helpful, you could write 1/2 u to the -1/2 u to the -3/2 times u prime. You could do that. Because you bring down the -1/2 for u, keep the u, subtract 1. What's -1/2 minus 1? -3/2 times u prime. But ultimately, do we need to go back to the x stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to plug back in. But if you want, we can do that in the next step. So it's u the -1/2, bring down the -1/2, make it a -3/2 times u prime. Now I'm going to have 3. Now, I'm helping my brain out. So I'm rewriting it because I'm going to have to simplify. I'm rewriting it in a way that hopefully my brain will understand. We did one super simple. Like super, super simple, yeah. Kiddos, for this next piece on the other side of the plus, who goes on top? And then the u prime also, right?
2x.
Good. And then in the denominator, the negative
Over 2 square root of
power.
3
We can think of it to the 3/2 power. We can think of it to the 3/2 power, or we can think of it as the square root of x squared plus 1 cubed.
Where does the half go? It goes at the bottom.
Sorry, I was reading this one.
Okay.
And then, yeah, good. Double check. Anyone else go down there? The 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel out the 2's. Okay. If all the multiple choice answers, and they always will, have these put together in one fraction, they wouldn't have it in 2. They would have it in 1 because they would have done quotient, to be honest. How can you get these two? Common denominator, yeah. Common denominator. Now, you could think that these are totally unrelated, so I'm going to multiply this one by that one and this one by that one, but they are related. They have the same base.
So can we break it?
Yeah, what is this guy? Well, they're not the exact same power though, so we can't put them together yet. But we can think of, well, this guy has 3 halves and this guy has 1 half. He needs more. How much more? 2 out of 2, which would be 1 whole one. Does that make sense? So we can go ahead and multiply this guy by 1 whole one. Because that's 1 1/2. We only have a half. We can multiply x squared plus 1, 1 whole one. 1 whole one. Then we'll have a common denominator. So now we can distribute, yeah? 3x squared plus 3 over x squared plus 1 minus 3x squared all over x squared plus 1 to the 3 halves. We can put those together now, yeah? And what happens with our 3x squareds? We cancel. So my final answer is 3
Because that was the one that was in the back, okay.
The other way of writing it could be, if they did it with the radicals, they could have done square root of. Remember, there's different ways of writing the same answer. We could have written it with the negative 3 half powers, I suppose.
Are you gonna make problems on the test that are not hard to simplify like that?
Not everyone. But remember, didn't I say the other day, when I was trying to remind you guys about the forever study and how important it is, didn't I say if I were to put a really nice multiple choice where all you needed to memorize was a rule? The reason I said that was, number 1, to make sure you're studying your forevers, but number 2, to say some of them will require some simplifying. Now, would I put more than one of these? Probably. So I put 1 for the AP likes them? Probably. Probably. Charlie, is there another review question? You're okay. So kiddos, here's what I'm going to do now. Do you have problems to work on this weekend? Yes. Are some of them shorter? Yeah. Some of them are a basic rule. Because we didn't even learn chain rule until the last section. Well, the first half of the last section. So, real quick, remember on test reviews, do you have to write any problems or directions? No, you're just studying, you're just practicing, you have CalcAB to help. Well, let me show you something else, because you do have a weekend, and some of you really want to do well on this test the first time, right? The first time, because remember I did give bonus from the corrections back on the limits test, but you will never have as much bonus back as you did that time. And I only do that on a select few number of tests, so you don't want to necessarily waste all your bonus opportunities right here at the beginning of the year. You want to do better on this one. You guys know where I am right now, right? Okay. I'm on the handouts assignments one. If I double click there, what do you guys see? Chapter 2A, practice test and practice test key. No, is this totally a format of one of my tests? No. But this is one that I've given when we used an old book and they didn't really have good reviews in the book. This was the practice test I would give out. Do you guys see some multiple choice questions? Having different terminology. This one even has to do with the definition of the derivative. Finding a second derivative. There are some that are crossed out because I actually got from another source and we weren't quite ready for all of them. Actually, we could have probably done this one, but that's okay. I skipped quite a few. Only look at the ones that I didn't skip. And then not only multiple choice, what else do I have? Now, I mean, that's good and all. But man, wouldn't it be nice if we had some answers to go along with that? Oh, look. In fact, we do.
Memorize it now.
I don't know how that would be helpful. And not only that, let me check really quickly. I think I might have actually my work to go with all of those answers too. So that you're not just looking at CalcChat stuff this weekend. Oh, that's not it. Oh, that's pre-calc. No wonder I'm so confused. Hold on. What is AB? There it is. I'm checking real fast. I think I might have forgotten to load a document. Oh, maybe not. I thought I had it. Oh, it doesn't help. Okay, keep for effort. But I do have the answers on there for you. Okay, let's go ahead and come back. We could spend our time working on the book problems that you guys already have CalcChat to check. If I were you, though, I would say let's take advantage of working through some of the practice tests together, some of the multiple choice questions together. And we're not going to have time for all of them for sure. The rest of the document is online for you to finish at your leisure and to be able to check. But I was thinking that maybe we should go over a couple things like definition of the derivative. Because some of you already realized, ooh, we haven't done that in a long, long time. So if I were you guys, I would go ahead and open up. You could do your workspace if you want, or you could do your notes. You could do your workspace, or you could do your notes. Let's go ahead and work through some of these practice test problems. Once again, I'm probably not going to finish them all, and I have just picked out a few of them that I thought were most helpful. I think I put those at the beginning. We do have some about motion. We do have some with functions and function prime. Because once again, stuff in the book is good, but does this help you have something to actually practice with to grade and then to be able to try and reach out and ask for questions? Yeah. You could email me, you could make sure you have someone's number this weekend. You guys could like go to Starbucks and you could just be like, hey, let's take this test and let's go over it together and look at our notes and try to figure out what went well. It's a great thing to study. All right, cool kids, let's go ahead and do number 22. Definition of a derivative. I heard someone talking about it. And so, yeah, I know. It was a long time. I know, it was a long time. You go in your workspace and go in your notes. I'm not going to do all of these, I'm going to pick and choose, but I figured definition of derivative is a good place to start. Maybe we'll spend like 10 minutes on this, and I'll let you guys have like 10 to 15 to work on whatever you want, which could be these problems to keep on working, or it could be your actual test or paper book. Yes, if you don't want to write down the whole problem and take time on it, remember this is online, you can print it out, and you can just work on the handout if you want. It is online, you can print it out and not need to write the questions down if you're trying to like do it to study it. But this is also saved in your notes at the very end of chapter 2. That's all.
Oh man, I just missed
I would probably do mine in time too. All right, hold on. On your own. Don't give any answers yet. On your own. What would you narrow down? Number 1's a multiple choice. Which one would calculate f prime of x? Wait, wouldn't it be A? Why can't you cross? Why can't you cross up E? Yeah. Well, okay. Hold on. Sorry. Maybe I should do E. It needs a limit. It needs a limit. Okay. Because what's f prime of x's limit definition? H or delta x approaches 0 of?
X plus delta
This needed to go in there, right? Which one shows that?
C.
Got it. All you really needed was a forever card, not one. But you had to know a lot of them.
So if like for 2, if it gives us multiple choice answers,
It'll probably be a long answer.
oh,
It'll probably be a long
if
answer.
it was a multiple choice, you would mark us off, right? We just did the column or something.
That's why the AP would never ask you, there's going to be something like that, or it's going to be noted. So you could just do the power rule. However, kiddos, pause. If you forgot how to do the definition of the derivative, couldn't you still find the derivative? You could do this with a rule at the very beginning, and then just see if you can make the definition match it, right? I don't mind you checking with the power rule. I don't even mind you knowing what the answer is before you start the definition with the power rule. How should you take this derivative if you didn't have to use the definition? Rewrite it, x to the negative 1, and how do we take the derivative? We know what the answer should be. I don't mind you writing that. I'll probably even give you a point for finding the right answer. But then you have to come over to get the rest of the points and show how the definition works. So I'm guessing a lot of you guys from your forever quizzes would like the H notation. Okay? So H equals delta x. f prime of x is equal to, the limit as h goes to 0, of. Okay. How do I find f of x plus h? Good. Plug in x plus h to the function. Pause. Does that make sense? I plugged in x plus h to x, right?
Yeah.
Good. What's the next part of my formula? F of x plus h minus f of x. I just take them, right? All over. Okay. You guys are smart. It's going to be 0 over 0. Keep going. And you need to keep going.
Yeah, until you can simplify out.
How do I simplify?
You have to multiply by x times x plus h.
Simplify the complex fraction, top and bottom. Does that make sense?
Little silly. It's going to be x minus x plus h.
Okay, the titles are proper distributed. Do you guys see how I'm just simplifying my complex fraction? So good. How they come to simplify? As he said, as I multiply the first distribution, the x plus h's cancel, and what's left? Just the x. And then there's a minus. As I distribute again, now the x's cancel, and who's left? Don't kill a seal. I put parentheses, which you have.
Yes.
All over.
Oh, I see that.
See it?
Yeah.
So I distribute, the denominators cancel, which is the point.
I'm gonna keep.
Watch out with the negative.
So you can, when you have 1 over x times x plus h.
Okay, so hold on.
Why just, you need to multiply the bottom.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, that's a common mistake. But thank you for catching it here. Catch it on your own on the test too. Distribute the negative. Multiply all the stuff on the bottom. X minus x cancels out, right guys? Yes, do you think I want you to keep rewriting limits on the test until you put good? Good. What happens to those h's? They reduce. There's just a 1 on top of negative 1. You need to with the negative. That way you don't forget.
Now we're plugging.
And I only plug in for h, right? So x plus 0 is x. X times x is. Dun. 4 points on a nice long answer. 4 points on a nice long answer. Yeah? Good. Have we reviewed how to use the definition of a derivative? Partially. If you need more practice, because I only did a complex fraction one. You guys know it could have been a FOILing one or a multiplied by a conjugate because there's a square root. But can you use a rule to figure out what it should be first? Yes, please do so. And then try to use the definition to make it match. Okay? Where can you find more practice? Section 2.1. Section 2.1, homework notes in the book.
Could you give us ever like the definition of the limit and then like do
Definition of a limit, you need epsilon delta. I think you guys can do an equation of a tangent line. We've done those before. Let's do number 3 because not only does it require a derivative, it also requires simplified trig properties. 30 seconds. But there's not really much to plug in at the beginning. That we're going to be simplifying after we derive. You give me a second. You guys know that you should probably be using a quotient rule, right? Do the quotient rule. I'll catch up. Do the quotient. not as hard as we thought.
When you derive 1 plus cosine, why is it not exactly? When you derive 1 plus cosine, why is
So derivative of 1 is 0, derivative of cosine is negative sine. So 0 minus sine. Oh, that's not fun. It wasn't as tricky as I thought. It's still tricky for some of you. But not quite as tricky as I thought. How'd you guys do? I should say, how are you doing? You see how I distributed combined like terms? Bottom to top, go to the top is 0 minus cosine. Sorry, 0 minus sine, derivative cosine negative sine. Derivative of the bottom is 0 minus a negative sign or plus sign. Positive sign. I distributed.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Just clicked.
Oh. It's okay. Click. I'll take it clicking. A little minus sign had to distribute. Final answer is D, but pause. Here's what I want to show you for the test. If this one showed a 1 minus cosine squared, and this one had a 1 plus, or if this had a negative 2 sign, and this one had a positive 2 sign, you're like, the rest don't even look like it, and the one that looks like it is wrong. Should you put none of these? No, not yet. You should check your work, but then if you're like, no, mine is right, why isn't it matching? If they have lots of other answers, maybe you could FOIL and use properties, and maybe something would cancel. Now, in this one, it doesn't. It doesn't go down to one of these. This is the right answer, and that is proper. But in another one, if it looks like your first initial answer, but it's different, double check your work. But you could be right, and you might need to simplify to make it match one of the ones that doesn't look quite the same. Just a warning with trig. Just a warning with trig. They could give you an initial that's a little bit off. Doesn't mean go straight to none of these. Go see if you can simplify with properties. I thought that was one of those, but it wasn't. They gave you the nice answer that came straight out of your quotient. I think we're okay-ish on motion.
Yeah.
Because we have those in our forever cards. What should I be more worried about? You, friend?
For wide.
How about number 11? That's the kind of difference. What number 11? 3 to the x times x cubed. What rule would you need to use? Product. Right? Times. 3 to the x times x cubed. I'll give you guys a second. For second D first plus first D second. What do you guys do for second D first? Careful, can't do problem. It's boo. B to the U.
Okay.
It's a boo. We gotta study our forever cards, that's why I gave you this one. It's a B to the U. It's a B or it's an A, or whatever you want to think about it. It's a constant. If it was an E to the X, what would you say its derivative is?
Okay.
Since it's a 3 to the x, it's a 3 to the x, but you have to compensate with.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, study that rule. Maybe have a constant to a power. Plus first, d second. Oh, none of the answers even look similar.
Hello.
Is there anything in common?
Yes.
There's a 3 to the x. You can definitely pull that out. What else is in common?
It's the x to the power 6.
Yeah, x squared, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have an x left and an ln of 3.
Oh no.
And I'm going to have a 3 left.
Answer choice.
You got the addition backwards though, so it's the wrong answer.
But
It's the wrong answer.
It's not the wrong answer.
It's the same answer.
Addition is commutative. Don't go picking something else that doesn't even seem. Don't just go to none of these. Don't just go there.
it's easy.
Ask yourself, is there something that would equal the same thing if you just rearrange some things legally? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
I can't do that in my head. I can't
Okay.
rearrange it.
Kiddos, where can you find these questions?
On the class folder.
You could just find them in the notes, chapter 2 notes in your class folder at the very, very end. I've copy and pasted a lot of them. But did I also put online a handout of a practice test with a key that includes, if you guys look at this, this was the first one that we did. Hey, we did that problem, and then we skipped down and did, where's the other guy? Oh, maybe I threw some extra problems. Oh, I think I changed some of these to be problems. There might be some extra problems in the notes. There are problems in the notes, and there's this practice test. Some of them are the same. Maybe there's some extra ones in the notes. Maybe there's some extra ones on the handout. Long story short, all you need to do this weekend, well, before Sunday at 9. I'm not promising that I'm going to stay up until like midnight helping you study Sunday night. If you can't meet with someone, if you can't work with someone, if you can't check with someone, and you're working on the practice test, send me a quick picture and be like, can you show me how to do this? I won't necessarily grade your work, but I have an iPad, I can grab it out, I can put it real quick, take a picture, and send it to you. Or I can do it on a piece of paper, take a picture, send it to you, okay? All right, so if you need a solution this weekend, if you get stuck, can't make it match, please let me know. But otherwise, what should you be working on?
Chapter review.
Yeah, your review. Let me pull up the book. Let me go ahead and zoom out because some of you guys don't have your books with you, but you might want to start the review. Let's take the last 5 minutes of class or so just to work on the review. Sound good?
I feel like I did this. You just do it on a napkin.
What?
You do it on a napkin.
Yeah, exactly. Napkins are hard to do it on, though. It's not my favorite.
Toilet paper.
It's not awkward at all. All right. Does your guys' review start somewhere around there? You see enough to get started? When it says limit process, what does it mean? Definition. When it says alternative form, what does it mean? Definition. Ooh. Differentiable. Differentiable. How come the derivative exists? So you could think about the graph if you can tell sharp points or vertical tangents, or you can just take the derivative and say, hey, do you not exist somewhere? Which one? Oh, number 180 from chapter whatchamacallit.
It's 2.4.
Yeah, it's 2.4, number 180. Stink. Hold on, I'm freezing the screen. We didn't even talk about that one. I mean, we did yesterday, we just didn't today. Where is there a derivative rule card that has some room? Do the basic rules have room? It's not really basic, though. It doesn't really fit under chain rule or quotient or product. It does fit under chain rule, kind of.
Is it actually just the absolute value of something is equal to this, the weight?
Okay. Kiddos. there's different ways, just different answers that you can use. So U over absolute value of U?
No, this says this equation is used.
This was the derivative rule from number 180 in section 2.4. I don't know if it exactly shows up on this test. Off the top of my head, I don't necessarily think it does, but it will show up eventually. And we did technically cover it in a homework problem. The derivative of absolute value of U. If you want to take a quick picture of it, guys, I do want you to add it to problem number 15. Just take a quick picture. It was from a homework problem. I totally forgot. I meant to have you add it in at the beginning of class today, and I don't know where my brain was. It's Friday. So it's either U over absolute value of U times U prime or absolute value of U over U times U prime. Both of them work. Both of them are valid. Both of them are valid. Okay. I'll be here during lunch. I'll be here after school. I think Bridget's coming in. We're working on college calc related rates. A lot of fun. So I'm doing math anyway. So if you guys want to come work on stuff, that's fine. But if you get stuff this weekend, do you need to just sit there and like have a pity party? Maybe. Have some chocolate, have some coffee. But then you can't stay there. Do you need to reach out?
Yes.
Okay, can you reach out to classmates? Can you email me? We'll figure something out, okay? So you're stuck on a problem, but what do you need to be doing? 2 things. Practicing, making sure you have those forevers memorized. But can you look back at directions for homeworks or workspaces, things that you missed along the way, just to kind of reorder? Yes. Kids, you got this. Bye, guys.